Hi, this is Kyle. Again, obviously, you know me. I'm posting this response to contribute to the discussion of Never Cross a Vampire uh, for this week's or month's or however long it takes to get it out. I'm not sure what the schedule is for Book-Marc'd by Do Idol. So if you're seeing this because you subscribed to me, watch Book-Marc'd. It is actually a great show. Um, my views on the book Never Cross a Vampire, which I wish that I had a nifty copy to show you, and got great cover art, very sultry woman sitting in 1940s gown. Kind of hooks you in just on the cover art, even though she's not really in the book. Like there's a character who might be this woman, but um it is apparently the third book in the Toby Peters series. It's the only one that I've read. I did borrow Mark's copy, which is why I don't have a copy. I might get a name or two wrong um, when talking about this, or I'll try and refer to the characters as how they relate to the main characters. Bela Lugosi, I am aware that that is not the true Hungarian pronunciation of his name. I have a very difficult time doing that. Please excuse it. And Toby Peters, who is the detective working on Bella's case. Um, I really felt that the characterization in this novel was really well done, especially Bela Lugosi's. I could very easily see and feel and connect to this historic person, even knowing very little about him. The author, Faulkner, is also in the book. The two cases are related. I should probably give a plot outline. I apologize for the mix up in order. I'm very kinetic, but I just realized my hands aren't actually in frame too much, so you're only catching some of the motions. Sorry about that. Um, what happens is Bela Lugosi is receiving threats based on him defaming the vampire community by mocking Dracula in his work. Um, and Faulkner is kind of a side story that this producer was, or agent rather, was killed. And Faulkner is being accused of his agent's murder. Um, and the two cases seem to be connected. There's a lot of vampiric references in the Faulkner case. The characterization of William Faulkner, I felt, was rather bland. It was just, this is what I have to go on. He's not really a main character. Really didn't think that the author, who I can't pronounce his name, it's Stuart something, I'm not even going to try because I don't want to ruin it too bad and I don't have it in writing to try. Um, I really felt that he just needed to throw Faulkner in there. He needed a side case to interlink with the Lugosi case and chose William Faulkner. I couldn't really relate to his character, which I don't know anything about him historically. That could be accurate. He could have been a very disagreeable man. Um, I really liked the side characters. The supporting cast was excellent. There was a lot of his flatmate, who I believe is Gunter, was a I suppose the politically correct term is small person now. Suffered from dwarfism, and very brilliant man, very helpful to have. His uh, office mate is a dentist that's just second rate and absolutely horrible. And his the office landlord is this big bouncer dude who's a poet. And I absolutely adored the characterization in the supporting cast, as well as Toby Peters himself. I liked him. The book did take some getting used to. I read it in its entirety because I wanted to be able to read it, but I do not regret it. I actually highly recommend it. But I was about 50, 75 pages into this book that's not that long before I really was engaged by the story. The historic reference, it takes place in 1942. So there's a lot of references to the war, which is understandable. There's a lot of references to current events, which is understandable. But one thing that really bugged me was the over description of prices of the time. Like, I bought this for a nickel and this for a dime and a gallon of milk for a couple cents. And that really, it felt like the author was trying to push the differences of the time too hard. It didn't, whenever he went on one of those little tangents, which he did every couple chapters, I had been, engaged and engrossed in the setting and the story, and I was in 1942, and then he just gets so overly descriptive that it's like, oh, I have to struggle through this listing of how things are different now than they were, than they were when this story is taking place. I really did not care for that. The mystery of the novel, because it is a mystery novel, was hard to guess at, but not impossible if you like that kind of thing. I prefer mystery novels where all the clues are there and you have to be able to figure it out. And then at the end, there's the big reveal. And it was the butler in the living room with a wrench. Um, I really like those kind of mystery novels. This is a great one. I do highly recommend the book Never Cross a Vampire. It is a good read. It's a quick read, and it's a good book if you're just looking for something to do. Um, or you're a fan of vampire fiction and historic fiction. If I say vampire fiction, I mean stories about vampire culture, I guess would be a good way to say it. I'm very particular about my vampire related books. Um, that shouldn't be a surprise to anyone. I'm a huge fan of vampires. I'm very particular about what I read in regards to vampires. And even though this is all fictional vampires, well, vampires are fiction in the fictional book. Um, I really liked the vampiric elements of the story. So that is as high of a rating as I can give a book if I like the vampire elements in it. Recommend it. I'm looking forward to reading Never Kill a Mockingbird, which is next on the list. I started to read it in high school, never finished. I think I've seen the movie. So that wraps up my response to Book-Marked, and see you guys next time.